But when you command it with authority, gratitude, and belief, it obeys instantly. Now let's get practical for a moment. You might say, all right, that sounds lovely, but what does it mean to command the spirit of money? How do I actually do that? I'm glad you asked, because commanding doesn't mean yelling at your wallet or giving motivational speeches to your bank app. It's an inner science, a harmony between your thoughts, words, and vibration. Think of it this way. The universe is a giant mirror. It doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. So if deep down you believe money is scarce, difficult, or dirty, that's the reflection you'll see. But if you shift that belief and start declaring, money flows to me easily. I am aligned with wealth. I am a magnet for prosperity. The universe begins to mirror those commands. It's not superstition, it's resonance. You're a frequency tower, constantly broadcasting signals. Every thought about money, whether fear or faith, sends a message to the invisible field around you. And the field doesn't argue, it just matches. So when you say, I never have enough, the universe nods and says, as you wish. But when you say, money loves to stay with me, it smiles and says, coming right up. Let me tell you a little secret. The universe isn't stingy. It's not rationing blessings like a tight-fisted accountant. There's infinite supply. But most people keep their receiver jammed with static fear, doubt, guilt, resentment. These emotional frequencies block the flow, and then they wonder why money won't show up. So how do we fix that? How do we clear the static so money can finally find us? Step 1. Change your inner conversation. From this day forward, catch every negative thought about money and flip it. If your mind says, I can't afford that, immediately reply, I'm grateful money is coming to me to cover that. If your heart says, I'm broke, replace it with, I am temporarily between millions. Humor helps, it lightens your vibration, because you can't command wealth from the energy of worry. Step 2. Respect money. Yes, even that crumpled note hiding in your jeans pocket. Treat every coin and bill with gratitude. When you spend, say, thank you money, for circulating and returning multiplied. When you receive, whisper, welcome home. I know it sounds funny, but it works. Because gratitude multiplies everything it touches. It's a magnet that pulls in more of what you appreciate. Step 3. Visualize money as your loyal assistant, not your boss. Too many people give money authority over their emotions. They wake up happy if they have it, miserable if they don't. But when you see yourself as the commander, the one who directs where money goes, when it comes, and how it serves your purpose, you reclaim your power. Say to yourself, money works for me. I don't chase it. It follows me. Now, let's talk about the emotional tone you carry when you think about money, because that's the secret sauce. You can say all the affirmations in the world, but if you say them with fear, you're broadcasting lack. The words must match the energy. Imagine yourself as already wealthy, already provided for. Breathe that feeling. Walk like it. Think like it. Speak like it. The moment you feel abundant before the evidence appears, you magnetize the evidence to you. This isn't pretending. It's aligning. You're tuning your inner station to the frequency of wealth, so wealth can find your signal. Think of it like a radio. If you're tuned to the LAC FM channel, you can't receive abundance 101. You must dial in. Commanding money begins with tuning yourself. And please remember, money is not the goal. It's the servant. You are not asking to worship it. You are commanding it to fulfill its purpose. Money's divine job is to circulate, to support creation, to express generosity. When you align your intentions with good, when your desire for money is to do something meaningful, to expand joy, to bless others, the flow becomes unstoppable. Because now you're not just attracting money for ego, you're attracting it for purpose. And the universe loves purpose. Let me give you a small example. Years ago, a woman once told me she was struggling financially. She had every bill imaginable, a leaky roof, and a tired spirit. She said, I've prayed, I've cried, I've begged the universe, but money still won't come. I smiled and asked her one question. Have you commanded it? She blinked. Commanded? You mean told it what to do? I said yes. She laughed nervously but agreed to try. I told her to stand in her room, close her eyes, and speak as if she were addressing a loyal but invisible servant. She said, Money, I command you to obey me. I am your master, not your victim. Flow to me now, easily, freely, abundantly, and stay where I place you. She felt silly at first, but something shifted in her energy. Within a week, she received an unexpected refund from a company she'd long forgotten. Then a new client reached out with a big order. Then her cousin offered to fix her roof for free. Coincidence? Maybe. But I've seen too many of these coincidences to call them random. You see, the moment she stopped begging and started commanding, the universe rearranged itself to obey her vibration. That's the power you carry when you align with authority. But let me pause and say this. Commanding is not arrogance. It's spiritual confidence. It's knowing that abundance is your birthright, not a luxury for a chosen few. It's realizing you're not at the mercy of the economy, your salary, or luck. You're connected to an infinite source that responds to your consciousness. When you command with love, gratitude, and clarity, not fear or greed, you activate the universal law of supply. Let's get real. You've probably been taught your whole life to work hard for money. And yes, work matters. But if hard work alone made people rich, every laborer on earth would be a millionaire. It's not about sweat, it's about vibration. Two people can do the same job, but one earns more because of their energy. They expect abundance, so abundance finds them. That's why the next step is expectation. Expect money. Don't hope for it, expect it. Wake up and say, something financially wonderful is on its way to me today. Keep your heart open, because sometimes the universe delivers not through a paycheck, but through an idea, a connection, or an opportunity. Expectation opens the gate for delivery. And here's a fun trick. Speak to money like it's a person who deeply loves you. Say, money, you adore me, don't you? You can't resist coming to me. Laugh while you say it, because humor dissolves fear, and fear is the biggest wall between you and abundance. Now let's address the elephant in the room, guilt. Many people feel guilty about wanting more money. They think it's greedy, selfish, or unspiritual, but that's false. Wanting money is not evil. Worshipping it is. Money is simply energy neutral until you assign it purpose. When you use it to bless others, to create beauty, to lift lives, it becomes holy. You were never meant to struggle endlessly just to survive. You were meant to thrive and circulate abundance like a living river. So, if you've ever said, I just want enough to get by, stop right there. That's not humility. That's limitation in disguise. The universe doesn't respond to small prayers, it responds to faith-filled declarations. Declare boldly, I am open to unlimited wealth. Money flows through me as a force for good. If your mind argues, but I don't see it yet, remember the unseen always precedes the seen. You don't plant a seed today and dig it up tomorrow to check if it's growing. You trust the process. The same principle applies here. Command it, believe it, and act like it's already done. That's faith in action. Let's make it even simpler. Tonight, before you sleep, take a deep breath and affirm, Money, I command you to come to me in perfect ways, under grace, and with ease. I am a vessel of abundance. I am ready now. Feel it as truth. Fall asleep with that vibration, because the subconscious mind, your greatest servant, obeys what it hears last before you sleep. And tomorrow morning, when you wake up, act like someone who's already wealthy in spirit. Walk with assurance. Be generous with compliments. Radiate gratitude. The spirit of money loves cheerful energy. It's attracted to joy, like bees to honey. Because here's the magic secret that few people ever understand. Money doesn't come to effort alone. It comes to alignment. You don't chase it, you align with it. You don't beg it, you become it. Now that you've started to awaken your inner authority, let's take it even deeper. Because commanding the spirit of money isn't just about saying pretty affirmations, it's about becoming the kind of person money wants to obey. Think of money like a loyal but sensitive pet. It senses your energy. If you approach it with anxiety, it runs. If you approach it with confidence and calm assurance, it sits right beside you. You can't be begging on one hand and expecting miracles on the other. Begging says, I don't have. Commanding says, it's already mine. And the universe only knows one truth, what you believe. So if you keep saying, I'm waiting for money, you'll keep waiting. But when you say, money is already in my field, and I'm calling it into visible form, you pull it from the invisible to the tangible. That's not wishful thinking, it's quantum law. Let's talk about a very practical issue, fear of spending. Some people grip money so tightly that it can't breathe. They hoard out of fear and call it saving. They think, if I hold on, I'll be safe. But money doesn't flow to fear, it flows through faith. When you spend with anxiety, you block the return. But when you spend with gratitude and expectation of return, you circulate energy. Remember, what you give out returns multiplied. So, next time you pay a bill, instead of sighing and saying, there goes my money, say, thank you, money, for doing your good work. You'll come back multiplied. That single sentence changes the vibration. You stop acting like a victim and start acting like a commander. Here's another thing that keeps money away, resentment. If you envy others for their wealth, you're unconsciously pushing yours away. The energy of jealousy says, they have it, so I can't. But the energy of admiration says, they have it, which means it's possible for me too. Big difference. Every time you see someone succeed, bless them. Say, what the universe did for them, it can do for me tenfold. The moment you bless another's wealth, you signal that you're ready for your own. And you might be wondering, okay, this all sounds empowering, but how do I apply it in my daily routine? Let me show you a simple 3-step daily command practice that can shift your energy immediately. Step 1, morning command. When you wake up, before you touch your phone or brush your teeth, declare out loud, money, today you obey my voice. You find me in perfect ways. I am a magnet to all forms of wealth. Then visualize yourself smiling as blessings reach you throughout the day. An idea, a payment, a compliment, an opportunity. Keep that energy all morning. Step 2, midday gratitude. Around noon, take a short pause. Whisper, thank you, money, for the ways you're already showing up. Even if you haven't received a dime that day, gratitude activates the vibration of reception. You're basically saying, I trust the process. Step 3, nightly alignment. Before bed, place your hand on your heart and say, money flows to me easily, peacefully, and constantly. I rest knowing I am provided for. Then drift to sleep with the feeling of wealth wrapping around you like a blanket. You see, commanding money is not about being forceful, it's about being consistent. You can't shout at the ocean and expect a wave, but you can align with the tide. The tide always returns. So does money when you respect its rhythm. Now let's be honest, some days you'll feel low. You'll have moments where the bills pile up and you'll think, maybe this doesn't work. That's okay. The key is not to deny what you feel, but to redirect it. Instead of saying, I'm broke, say, my abundance is simply rearranging itself. Instead of, I can't afford this, say, the funds for this are on their way. Words shape worlds. Keep your words aligned with faith, not fear. And here's something that will make you smile. Money loves happy people. Truly, when you laugh, dance, or feel joyful, your energy opens up. The spirit of money feels invited. You know those moments when you're carefree, maybe singing in your car or joking with a friend, and then you suddenly get an unexpected credit alert or a client message? That's not coincidence. That's your open energy field attracting flow. So dance when you're broke. Laugh when you're waiting. Declare abundance when you're down to your last note. That's how you confuse scarcity and invite miracles, because the universe loves bold, joyful faith. And while we're talking about flow, let's address giving. Many people misunderstand this law. They think giving means losing, but in truth, giving is commanding. Every time you give, whether it's money, time, kindness, you're saying to the universe, I have more than enough. And the universe responds, indeed, you do. The key is to give with joy, not fear. Give only what feels aligned. Give like a king, not a beggar. When you give with the energy of royalty, you receive with the energy of grace. Let's talk about one last hidden barrier, self-worth. If deep down you don't feel worthy of wealth, no amount of affirmation will stick. You'll keep sabotaging it. You'll attract opportunities and then find ways to lose them. Because your inner thermostat will always pull you back to what feels normal. The solution is to reprogram your worthiness. Start saying daily, I am worthy of wealth. I am safe having money. I am trusted with abundance. And when guilt or doubt creeps in, replace it with love. Because love dissolves resistance faster than logic ever could. You deserve to live well. You deserve to wake up in a peaceful home, eat good food, travel where you desire, and bless others freely. That's not greed, it's grace. When you prosper, you prove that light wins over lack. Here's a truth I've learned over and over. Money obeys certainty. The more certain you are of your command, the faster it responds. That's why indecision is dangerous. It sends mixed signals. One moment you're saying, I want wealth, and the next you're doubting, maybe it's not for me. The universe doesn't know which instruction to follow, so it waits. But when you stand firm and declare, I am abundant and everything I need comes to me now, heaven and earth align to make it so. Now, I want to challenge you today. After watching this, do one bold act of command. Write a note that says, Money, I command you to obey me instantly. Come to me now, through channels known and unknown, in ways that surprise and delight me. Read it out loud with confidence. Place it somewhere you'll see daily. And watch how opportunities start to move toward you. If fear whispers, this is silly, smile and reply, maybe, but my faith is powerful. Fear can't survive humor. That's why laughing at your own worries is one of the most spiritual things you can do. Commanding money isn't magic. It's alignment. It's not greed. It's gratitude. It's the art of remembering who you are, a divine being with authority over matter. Money is matter, and matter must obey spirit. When your spirit is clear, calm, and confident, everything physical follows. Now breathe. Feel that quiet confidence rise in your chest. That's the energy of command. Speak to the spirit of money now, even softly. You are welcome here. You belong with me. You move through me easily. I am the commander of abundance. Say it until it feels natural. Then act from that place. Take inspired steps. Follow up on ideas. Answer that call. Send that email. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Move with faith. Money loves movement. The faster you act on inspiration, the faster it flows. So here's your call to action. Try one thing from this message today. Just one. Maybe it's changing your words, maybe writing your command note, or simply paying a bill with gratitude. Whatever it is, do it with full belief that the universe is listening and responding instantly. Then come back and share what happens. The more you declare it, the more you inspire others to claim their command too. Remember, your life doesn't change when you get money. It changes when you change your relationship with it. You were never meant to chase money. You were meant to attract it, command it, guide it. The moment you understand that, you stop running after abundance and start walking with it. So let this be your declaration from now on. Money obeys me. It serves my highest good. It arrives easily and stays faithfully. Keep that on your lips, in your heart, and in your energy. And soon, the spirit of money will treat you like its favorite human, because it is. Now, if this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to remember their power. Leave a comment about the command you're making today. Let's fill this space with faith-filled declarations. And if you haven't yet, subscribe for more messages like this, because your abundance journey is just beginning. The spirit of money is listening. Speak with authority, Act with gratitude and watch it obey instantly.
As your body begins to relax and your breathing begins to slow, your consciousness is either creating prosperity or perpetuating poverty. It is either aligning with divine abundance or reinforcing human limitation. There is no pause, no neutral ground, no moment when you are not manifesting. Your subconscious is always at work, always listening, always building your tomorrow based on what you impressed upon it today. Based on what you're impressing upon it right now in these final moments before sleep. The only question is, what instructions are you giving it? What images are you planting? What beliefs are you watering? What consciousness are you commanding it to manifest into form? Tonight, that changes completely. Tonight, we plant seeds of divine prosperity into the fertile soil of your sleeping mind. Tonight, you will learn what Florence Scovel Shinn called the spiritual mechanics of manifestation. Not through willpower or force or struggle, not through competition or manipulation or control, but through alignment with divine law, through understanding of spiritual principle, through the power of your words spoken with faith. You will not stumble into wealth by accident. You will not wake up prosperous simply because you wish for it, or hope for it, or desperately need it. But you will command it through consciousness. You will speak it through decree. You will receive it through spiritual understanding. You will attract it through alignment with the infinite supply that Florence taught is available to every single person without exception, without limitation, without condition. And it begins tonight, right now, in these 3 sacred hours, as your conscious mind, the part that doubts and analyzes and fears and resists, finally rests, and your subconscious mind, the part that simply accepts and believes and manifests, opens like a flower at dawn, ready to receive new truth, ready to absorb new identity, ready to create new reality. Before we begin this sacred work, before you drift into sleep and transformation, I ask you to make this commitment visible and public. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the moment you declare something in writing, the moment you speak something aloud, the moment you make your intention known to the universe, you set spiritual law into motion. Your word becomes your wand. Your declaration becomes your destiny. Pause this video right now if you're still awake and do 3 specific things. First, press the subscribe button and turn on all notifications. This journey requires consistency, not casual interest. You'll need to return here night after night for 21 consecutive nights. That's not arbitrary. 21 days is the minimum time required for new consciousness to become permanent, for new neural pathways to solidify, for new identity to replace old identity. Subscribe now so you can find this easily every single night. Second, press the like button. This isn't about vanity or analytics. This is about spiritual physics. When you take action toward your prosperity, even something as simple as pressing a button, even something that takes only 1 second, you signal to the universe that you're ready to receive, that you're willing to participate, that you're claiming your wealth, like this video right now. Third, and most importantly, go to the comment section right now and type these exact words. I commit to 21 nights starting tonight. Then add your location, your city, your state, your country. Make it public. Make it real. Make it a covenant with yourself and with divine intelligence. Then, over the next 21 nights, return to your comment and update it. On night 3, add night 3 completed. On night 7, add night 7 completed. When you finish all 21 nights, add your testimony. Share what shifted. Share what manifested. Share what transformed. This commitment isn't optional if you want results. This is your covenant with prosperity. Go now to the comments. Make that declaration. We'll wait. Welcome back. You've taken the first step. The universe has registered your commitment. Divine intelligence has heard your decree. Your transformation has officially begun. Now let me explain what's actually happening in your brain and in your spirit right now, in this precious transition from waking consciousness to sleeping consciousness in this liminal space between the material world and the spiritual realm. Modern neuroscience has discovered what Florence Scovel Shinn knew through spiritual revelation over 100 years ago. Your subconscious mind is most receptive to new programming in the moments immediately before sleep and during the sleep cycles themselves. As you lie down right now and close your eyes, as you allow your body to sink into the mattress and your breath to slow and deepen, your brain waves are shifting. They're slowing from beta waves, which is your normal waking state, active and analytical and resistant to change, to alpha waves, which is relaxed and receptive and open to suggestion. Then, as you drift closer to actual sleep, you'll enter theta wave state. This is deeply hypnotic consciousness. This is where visualization becomes reality. This is where the boundary between imagination and manifestation dissolves. This is where your subconscious cannot distinguish between something you're vividly imagining and something you're physically experiencing. Finally, you'll drop into delta wave state, deep restorative sleep, where complete restructuring of consciousness occurs, where your brain quite literally rewires itself, where old patterns can be dissolved and new patterns can be installed. During theta and delta states, your conscious mind, the part that says that's impossible or I can't afford that or people like me don't become wealthy, goes completely offline. Your subconscious mind, which has no capacity to judge or reject or analyze, which simply accepts whatever is impressed upon it with feeling and repetition, opens completely like a door with no lock. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn insisted on speaking prosperity decrees before sleep. This is why she taught her students to visualize abundance as they drifted off. This is why she emphasized that the final thoughts before sleep are the most powerful, creative thoughts of your entire day. She understood that the sleeping hours are when divine substance, the invisible spiritual material from which all wealth and health and success and love are formed, can be impressed upon consciousness without any resistance whatsoever from doubt or fear or logic. Scientists today call this neuroplasticity. Your brain literally reconstructs itself during sleep based on what you focused on before sleeping. New neural pathways form, connecting neurons in new patterns. Old limiting pathways that no longer serve you weaken and eventually dissolve completely. Your very identity reconstructs at the cellular level. Florence called this the law of consciousness creating circumstances. She taught that the visible is always made out of the invisible. Your bank account, your income, your financial situation, all of it is made out of consciousness, out of your dominant thoughts and beliefs about money. Change your consciousness about wealth, and your bank account must change to match it. This is law, not theory. Tonight, for 3 full hours, you will saturate your consciousness with prosperity while your analytical mind cannot interfere, cannot argue, cannot resist. This is divine technology that's been available for thousands of years, but that most people never access because they fill their final waking moments with television or worry or social media or replaying the day's frustrations. You're different. You're here. You're ready. You're willing. And that willingness is about to transform everything. Let me tell you a story that perfectly demonstrates how this works. A story that proves the power of nightly consciousness work. A story that shows you exactly what's possible when you commit to 21 nights of reprogramming. There was a woman who came to Florence Scovel Shinn many decades ago in a state of complete financial desperation. Her name was Margaret, and she was a widow with 3 young children, ages 5, 7, and 9. Her husband had died suddenly in an industrial accident, leaving her with no life insurance because the policy had lapsed just 2 months before his death. There were no savings. There were only debts, mountains of debts that she couldn't even calculate because she was too afraid to open the letters that arrived daily from creditors. She was living in 2 cramped rooms that a distant relative had grudgingly allowed her to occupy. And that relative made it clear every single day through looks and sighs and cutting remarks that Margaret was a burden, that she was taking advantage, that she needed to figure something out soon because charity has its limits. Margaret had no job skills. She'd been a homemaker her entire adult life, which was common and expected in that era. She was 42 years old, which in the 1920s meant she was considered too old to start over. Too old to learn new things, too old to be hired for any position that paid a living wage. She had no family wealth, no connections, no education beyond basic literacy and arithmetic. When she first met Florence at a lecture that a friend had practically dragged her to, Margaret could barely speak without crying. Her hands shook, her voice cracked. She said, "I don't understand why God has forsaken me. I've been a good person my entire life. I've been faithful. I've prayed every single day, multiple times a day. But nothing changes. Everything gets worse. We're going to end up on the street. My children are going to starve. I can't see any way out." Florence listened patiently with that calm, knowing presence that so many of her students described. She let Margaret cry. She let her speak all of her fear. And then, when Margaret finally fell silent, exhausted from her own desperation, Florence said something that stopped her completely. "My dear, God has not forsaken you, but you have forsaken God's law. You've been praying from consciousness of lack, and lack is what you're manifesting. Your prayers are filled with fear, and fear is what returns to you. You're speaking poverty with every word, and poverty is what you're commanding into form." Margaret was confused. She said, "But I'm praying for prosperity. I'm begging God to help me. I'm asking for money every single day. How is that speaking poverty?" Florence smiled gently and explained, "Begging is the language of lack. Asking is the consciousness of not having. Commanding is the language of prosperity. Claiming is the consciousness of already possessing. You must stop praying as a beggar, hoping for scraps, and start decreeing as a daughter of the divine, claiming your inheritance. You must stop asking God to give you what you need and start thanking God for what is already yours in the spiritual realm, waiting only for your consciousness to claim it and bring it into material form." She taught Margaret a specific practice, a nightly ritual that would become the foundation of Margaret's complete transformation. Every night before sleep, Margaret was to lie in bed, place her hands over her heart, take 3 deep breaths, and then speak this decree aloud 3 times with as much feeling and faith as she could muster. "I cast this burden of financial worry upon the Christ within, and I go free to have abundance and prosperity. My children and I are divinely and abundantly supplied. Infinite intelligence is now manifesting perfect wealth in my life. I give thanks that this is already so." Florence explained further, "You'll feel like you're lying at first. That feeling is perfect. You're not lying. You're declaring spiritual truth that hasn't yet manifested in the material realm. But by decreeing it nightly before sleep, by speaking it with emotion and repetition, you're impressing it upon your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, which controls 90% of your behavior and all of your manifestation, will begin to create whatever you impress upon it with feeling and faith. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's true now and what you're claiming as true. It only knows what you repeat with emotion. So you repeat prosperity, you repeat abundance, you repeat divine supply, and your subconscious begins to manifest circumstances that match those words." Margaret was skeptical but desperate. That first night, she lay in her borrowed bed in that cramped, borrowed room, and she whispered the decree 3 times, crying through every single word because it felt so impossible, so far from her reality, so much like a lie. But she did it again the second night, and the third night, and the fourth. By the 7th night, something subtle shifted. She noticed she wasn't crying anymore when she said the decree. The words still felt strange, still felt untrue, but they no longer felt painful. By the 14th night, she found herself saying it with a strange sense of calm, almost as if some part of her was beginning to believe it, or at least beginning to consider that it might be possible. Then, On the 18th day, not night but day, something extraordinary happened. A letter arrived. It was from a lawyer representing her late husband's former employer. Apparently, there had been a small company insurance policy that no one had known about. Not her husband, not the company managers, not anyone. It had been in place for years, automatically deducted from his wages in tiny amounts. The company had been searching for her to release the funds. The amount was $850. To put that in perspective for the era, that was more than a full year's wages for most working people. To Margaret, it was a miracle beyond comprehension. It was enough to pay off every single debt. It was enough to secure a modest apartment. It was enough to provide living expenses for 6 months or more if she was careful. She immediately went to find Florence, certain that this was the end of the story. Certain that this was the answered prayer, and now everything would be fine. But Florence said something that surprised her. This is not the end. This is confirmation that the law works. This is proof that your consciousness is shifting. But you must continue the nightly decree. You must not stop now. Now that you've seen evidence that divine supply responds to your word, you must speak with even more faith, even more conviction, even more certainty. Margaret continued the practice. She added another decree that Florence taught her. Infinite intelligence knows the perfect way for me to prosper. I am led to my perfect wealth. Doors open before me that no person can shut. Divine opportunities appear in my path daily. Within 2 months, something else manifested. A friend mentioned in passing that a local school was looking for someone to manage their kitchen operations. Someone to order supplies, manage kitchen staff, keep accounts, plan meals within budget. The job required organization, practical wisdom, basic arithmetic, and the ability to feed many people with limited resources. Margaret realized she had been doing exactly that for 20 years as a homemaker, stretching every penny, feeding a family on almost nothing, organizing a household, managing everything. She interviewed, terrified but determined. She was hired. The salary was $35 per month, which was enough to support herself and her children modestly but adequately. But even that wasn't the end of the story. Within a year, Margaret had saved enough to start a small side business from her home, preparing baked goods and simple meals for working people who had no time to cook. Within 3 years, she had opened a small restaurant. Within 5 years, she owned her own home outright, something her husband had never been able to achieve despite working his entire adult life. Within 7 years, she was employing 6 people and had become known throughout the community as a successful businesswoman. When she returned to Florence after those 7 years to express her gratitude, she brought a financial gift, a substantial donation to support Florence's work. She said, "It still seems like magic to me. How did everything change so completely? I'm the same person. The world is the same world, but my entire life is different." Florence replied with words that would become central to her teaching. It wasn't magic. It was law, spiritual law. You changed your consciousness from poverty to prosperity through nightly decree, through faithful repetition, through speaking your word with belief. And the universe had no choice but to manifest circumstances that matched your new consciousness. Your outer world simply reflected your inner transformation. You didn't chase money. You became wealthy in consciousness, and money chased you. This is what we're doing tonight, and for the next 20 nights after this one. We're changing consciousness through decree, through story, through affirmation, through repetition. And over these next 3 hours, as you sleep, as you dream, as you drift through theta and delta states, that transformation will take root in your subconscious mind, in your neural pathways, in your very identity.